I don't know if I'm okay. I don't see the light of day. Looking up to higher ground, thinking that'll be your sweet escape. These days gotta schedule the romance. They say that love is a slow dance. A short bike ride to the crib using no hands. Oh shit, it feel like I'm floating, but I'm falling with both eyes closed when I let the world spin. Testing the water, she got my nerves tense. Back when I ain't even have a purpose, I was so eager to learn some things. Anxiety bring out the worst in me. Society paint me as enemy. My niggas making it by that remedy. I'm more occasional, don't do it regularly. Backs under my eyes, weighing down heavily. Mama been worried, the devil allegedly deep in the plan. Subconsciously wanted it since I was 10. I thought I was sharp on my scroll and my pen think it did. So mama found she to them legs. She told me that's not who I am. But nowadays I put on for the fam, see you when I can. I'm surrounded by my feelings, I'm stuck on a Ferris wheel. I bet I perish with 140 acres. She want the horse and the carriage, a porcelain portion of garbage. I talk to the mirror, I know that life's not the fairest. I lost my 10, I can't pay off the bills with the blessing. I'm sure I relate to the red and pink.
Well, first of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and tell me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find.
I am having a very bad day. I am in no mood. This, today, is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time. I'm not in the mood to play with anybody. I mean, damn it. I'm ticked off.
What's up, y'all? Nathan back with another video presentation. Hope you're all doing well. Hope the work week, hope the school week's going well for you. Happy Wednesday. As you can see, I got my guy, Brenden Potts, with me. Before we get to the video, there's a few things I want to say up front. I appreciate all the new subs. Appreciate that. Appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Much love. You're going to get great content here. Sports. We've got college football upon us. College basketball, men's, women's starting soon. All the videos that they're all pre-recorded, so they should have already been up by now. And then some previous WNBA content. So be tuned in for the Washington Mystics video, and also to be tuned in for the Maryland preview versus SMU. Painfully, well, be back up. Brenden, what's going on, buddy? How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. It's a great day, and week is halfway over. So,
how's school going?
It's going good. It's going good. We're getting into the swing of things, and one day at a time.
I hear you. Who does Washington State play football?
Colorado State.
That's a good game. Good game.
Got home too.
Nice. I love it. So, as you all know, myself and Brenden, we have been recapping the postseason so far, and Brenden, you can agree to this. This has probably been some of the most interesting postseason I've ever seen. Y'all, if y'all could tell by my mood, I'm very, very depressed. Because I guaranteed a team to win 5 games, and the way they're playing, it looks like it's going to be 1-2-3 Cancun. I'm going to try my very, very best, and Brenden, thank you because Brenden is going to help me control my anger. The Las Vegas Aces defeated the Connecticut Sun 85-71.
What was that? What the hell was that? I'm sorry the H words and the D words aren't appropriate over the airwaves, but it's going to be today. I don't know how much more of this I can take. How in God's name?
Brenden, let me give you the floor.
Yeah, it's really disappointing. I mean, you look game 2, you look at the box score, like you got DeWanna Bonner, one of your best players, player I give crap about a lot, with only 2 points and only 1 made shot in 9 attempts and 0 threes. Both teams really didn't shoot that well on the 3-point shot. I never saw Vegas as a good 3-point shooting team. Maybe the game against Phoenix, the basket was wide open, but yeah, they've never really been a good 3-point shooting team. I will give them this. It doesn't show on the stat sheet, but Dejounte Carrington, another player, a player I actually love, played really good defense, and that wasn't shown in the box score, but she played really good defense. And then one thing I do love about this Connecticut box score, though, is Courtney Williams had a bounce back game. And she scored, I believe, 5 points, I'm sorry, the first game.
Yeah.
And she bounced back and scored 18. So she has always appealed to me as someone who is showing that she wants this, and that's her attitude, and that's the way that she plays. And that's I picked that up when she played in Atlanta last year. And I said she needs to be on a championship team. She needs to be able to be in a position to compete for a championship, because that's the kind of player that a team like that needs. And she went to Connecticut, and I said, perfect. So she's getting that opportunity. I just wish the rest of her team played like her, because they would be very much in this series. This is very disappointing of a performance by Connecticut because of the way they finished game 1. This is, I mean, you obviously got to give credit to Vegas and how they played in game 2, but Connecticut should have come out to play in this game. Game 1 should have given them the confidence that that we can beat this team. Seattle, going back to the last series, I felt like Seattle got that confidence that we can beat this team after the first game, and unfortunately we weren't able to. There were moments where we could. Definitely in all the games that we've played against them, there were moments where we felt like we could beat this team, but Connecticut, I feel like, had that feeling after game 1 and didn't take advantage of it in game 2.
I'm looking at this box score, and what really stands out is a couple things. You touched on Alyssa Thomas, Jonquel Jones, Courtney Williams all had a good game. Natisha Heidemann played 14 minutes at a Krispy Kreme donut alongside her name. Odyssey Sims only played 9 minutes, 3 points. Nia Clouden, I mean, the game was probably low. He just started putting them in the game. Brianna Jones, 6 of 10 from the free throw line. I mean, they had got to the free throw line 21 times, only made 67% of their free throws. Looking at Vegas, when it was all said and done, you had 8 points off the bench. So, couple things. And I really am really trying to keep my cool. Because let me not say that. I'm really trying to not make sure I say the wrong things, because looking at this box score, you touched it upon already, but DeWanna Bonner, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Superstars should be an X factor, but she is the only one on this team that has championship pedigree, and she's a bona fide leader. I think she played a role in them beating Chicago. But to be completely frozen cold, when I mean frozen cold, I mean you have to let like there's just no answers. I mean, she has been just not. I mean, to go 1-9 from the floor in game one, and then 1-9 again in game two, like
What the hell was that? Hey, what the hell? You freaking kidding me?
I'm just lost. I just like if Connecticut is going to if they're going to win tomorrow, they got to get her going, and also too, they are getting for a team that preaches defense. Have you noticed that they're getting out rebounded? Yes, now granted, they're not the strongest offensive team when it comes to offense, not the greatest offensive team, but they predicate their game on offensive rebounds and get second chance points. Connecticut did that in game one. They had five more rebounds over Las Vegas. And I believe they grabbed 13 offensive rebounds and 10 second chance points. Game two was practically even. Connecticut only grabbed 6 offensive rebounds.
What the hell was that? I'm pissed off. Get it together. Y'all look like trash.
I'm gonna give you the floor.
Yeah, I feel like I have a couple of thoughts about this Connecticut team. It's really puzzling because we go back to the last series against Chicago, and I think you might have been wrong about one thing when we recapped that series was you were talking about what Kurt Miller said about beating Candace Parker. I think you might be wrong there because as a fan of any team, any sport, you have expectations of that team, and best case scenario, and sometimes you think of worst case scenario, but then you have a middle ground. And when you get to the best case scenario, and sometimes it's not a championship. Sometimes it's making it out of the first round after you haven't done it in X amount of years. Maybe it's getting to the semifinals, which there's different best case scenarios. When you get to a best case scenario, you then say, all right, that's it. That's our championship. We're good. Whatever comes after that is extra. And I feel like for Connecticut, this is their personal best case scenario. Now, they're never going to say it. They're going to say, we want to win a championship. We want to do what anybody else in the league wants to do, and that's to win a championship. But I feel like they are playing like anything after they're beating Chicago and beating Candace Parker, taking down Candace Parker is extra. They are just playing like that. They're just happy to be here.
I mean, I don't disagree with what you're saying at all. But I would think as a team, just playing, we got to the conference finals, like that shouldn't be the standard. They lost in 5 games to Washington 2 years ago. They have been the most consistent team getting to the playoffs. I just personally just think that there's just no adjustments. I'd like to see more paint presence. I just don't understand how you did so well out rebounding them in game 1, and then game 2 you looked completely just outperformed. I mean, just sticking with the paint. Those are the type of adjustments I want to see. As much as I love Jonquel Jones, she needs to be in the paint. She needs to be posted. We need to get her some post up plays. Brianna Jones, Alyssa Thomas. They do extremely well in the paint. They average, I think it's about 40 points a game during the regular season. I think that's second in the league. And then I think it's like 47 points like within the 5 playoff wins this whole series. But to be completely outscored the way they were in game 2, Brenden, this box score, they were out rebounded. They were outplaying the paint 40-22. That's unacceptable.
The thing that concerns me is you think about, like, you nailed it with DeWanna Bonner, Jonquel Jones, and et cetera, Alyssa Thomas. For Connecticut, you've probably got some of the best front court players in a lineup on your team in the league. And here's my issue. You look at Vegas, and in game 2 alone, they played both of their lineups. They played with 2 bigs, with Asia Wilson and Keith Stokes.
Yep.
And they played small ball with Asia Wilson playing at the 5.
Yep.
And I saw it all series last series in the semifinals. I saw those 2 lineups as well. And their small ball lineup was by far their best lineup against Seattle. And their 2 front court lineup was not very good offensively. Yesterday, their front court lineup was by far their best lineup. And that's ridiculous for a team like Connecticut when you have a front court like that, especially when you play 4 bigs and 1 guard in a lineup. And I give Connecticut the biggest crap for playing that kind of a lineup, but as I've seen against Seattle, it works. And I give them my full respect when it works. But this is so disappointing if you're a Connecticut fan to see those kind of stats and see the worst lineup of the 2 for Vegas dominate your ass.
I miscorrectly said the stat was 46-28. That was the previous game stat. The first set numbers I said from game 1 was they were outperformed in the paint 46-28. That has the lowest points in the paint all postseason. I mean, don't get me started with the point guard. Don't get me started with the lack of a point guard there. I mean, to shoot 21% from 3. Oh my God.
I mean, this is some bad stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how much more of this I can take. I just don't know. This is ridiculous. Oh, Lord.
I mean, I just that was some of, I just don't understand that. I mean, like, and maybe I'm sure maybe you've noticed this, but just struggling to get the ball in the post if you're a point guard, getting the ball to someone that's posting up. That has been a struggle. That's not just with Connecticut. I've seen that throughout the league. I don't know what that is, but I mean, there was. Don't get me started with the ball movement. It was. I practically saw no off ball movement. I saw a lot of standing around. I mean, and then to add, and I'll give you the floor on this. I said it in the previous video. You have to contain Asia Wilson and Chelsea Gray. The fact that you let Kelsey Plum go off quietly, the way she did, 20 points. Disappointing.
Yeah, I wanted to go back to your point on the 3-point percentage for Connecticut. I'm not concerned about that as much because Vegas shot poorly as well. They shot 23%. It's not that much better. But if you want to beat, like I said earlier, Vegas is not that good of a 3-point shooting team. So if you want to beat them off the 3-point line, you need to shoot better than 21%. My concern with Connecticut was 66% from the free throw line to 76. I always preach that free throws and layups are the easiest shots you can make in a game. There's no one guarding you. There's no one guarding you on free throws, and they're free throws. They are free for a reason. So you need to shoot better than 66%, especially when Vegas almost shot 80% from the free throw line. So that was my glaring concern on Connecticut's part. Now for Vegas. My concern was I'll get the Kelsey Plum in a minute, but my concern with Connecticut defending Vegas was watch the tape again. Watch Asia Wilson get so many easy looks from the mid-range. If you are watching film and scouting Asia Wilson and she's on your scouting report, the number one bullet point, defend the mid-range like your life is on the line, because her mid-range, you can't stop. You cannot stop it no matter what you do. But at least try not to give it to her. Like Connecticut, every single time there was not a defender able to defend that mid-range. And so they just gave up. And when you give up, you get other players involved. If you're Vegas, you get Chelsea Gray involved. And then you get Kelsey Plum involved. And what makes matters worse if you're Connecticut is 90% or majority of the playoffs, Kelsey Plum has been neutralized somewhat. And then her coming out party comes the day that you just crumble and collapse. And now she's starting to bark. And she has every reason to. Wonderful bounce back game from Kelsey Plum. Like you said, it was very quiet. I think that's mostly because of Chelsea Gray and her greatness. If you look at the box score for game 2, nobody else really did anything that shows up big time on this box score. It's just Connecticut's failure to stop the big three. It really comes down to that on that defensive side. They scored about 3/4 of their points.
I mean, when I look at their guard play, oh my gosh, Connecticut, all the guards did horrible. I mean, nobody had combined between all the guards that played out there. There was a combined 11 points. No, I'm sorry. 10 points. That's not going to win games. I mean, and the strengths of Connecticut, they have completely looked clueless. I mean, I think watching them game 1 control the pace Connecticut. I mean, they have no answers for Asia Wilson. I mean, you had just 2 guards for Las Vegas had 20 points apiece. But the fact that I got nothing from the guards, I mean, I need more. I don't. The thing is who can you insert in the starting lineup to give you some more, to give you some type of energy? Because I'm looking at an 0 for 4, 0 for 3, 1 to 9, 1 to 3. What am I doing? I mean, their bench, and again, their only really player that gave you the most productivity was Brianna Jones. Like, and defensively, I mean, she had no answers for Asia. I mean, there's no double teams. There was no denying her the ball. I mean, they like they need to really make some defensive adjustments. I think you need to put Alyssa Thomas on Chelsea Gray. I do, because I think you need to change that, have that as a defensive matchup. Other than, I mean, Jackie Young, she had 5 points. Kia Stokes had 2 points, but they were really contributing on the defense side of the ball. But like, I feel like this was Connecticut's game to win, and it went down the drain. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you two numbers, and this is really disappointing, and this is to call out one of the players on Connecticut. So the first number is 15.5, and the second number is 20, I believe. Let me double check here. 25, I'm sorry. So 15.5 and 25. Those are the point averages so far this series. The 25 is by Asia Wilson, who won the 2022 and 2020 WNBA MVP, both rightfully deserved. The other number, 15.5, is the point average in this series by the 2021 MVP, Jonquel Jones. This is your reigning MVP before Asia Wilson was announced? Really? Like, this is your defending MVP? Like, it's just so disappointing on Connecticut's end. I feel like you've said this before, there's too many cooks in the kitchen. Like, there's too many. When you have a team, you have one or two, maybe three at peak leaders on your team. They're leading, and they're usually vets. And they lead the team, they mentor the team, they guide the team, and it works. Connecticut, before I go on, they're usually established. Like, they're usually established. Not much has to be said. They're just known, like, this is our leader. We know they're going to command the team, so on and so forth. For Connecticut, they just couldn't figure it out all season. And sometimes you had one leader, at sometimes you had a different leader, and it doesn't work, and this is why. And it really sucks, because Connecticut is a veteran team. They have a lot of veteran players. Yeah, they're usually pegged as contenders every year that they make the playoffs, but they're a great regular season team. They consistently make the playoffs, like you say, and they have a lot of veterans on their team. But Vegas looks like a way more veteran team, and most importantly, nobody on that team has a ring, which it's absolutely ridiculous how far apart these two teams are in want to win this championship. That's something we talked about last episode I was on, was who wants this more. And just Connecticut showed in game 2, at least, that Vegas wants it more.
I got a stat here for you. The 3 minutes and 46 mark in the first quarter until 8 minutes and 4 seconds of the second quarter. That's a total of 6 minutes. Connecticut didn't make a basket. Las Vegas was up 68-54 after the third quarter. The same team game 1, you held to 67 points. Go ahead.
Wasn't 67 points their like playoff low or something like that? Yeah.
The season, actually, the whole season, it's been the lowest for them. There was a question. Shout out to my guy Rafiq Lewison. He asked. It was with Courtney Williams and John Quell Jones and Alyssa Thomas. I don't have that clip up, but it was a question about them having a hard time guarding Chelsea Gray, and some of the body language. It really lets me know like this is just self-destructing. And let me see if I can find that clip for y'all. Hold on. I have it up. Here we go.
You guys were able to have
Our next question will come from Zoom. Stephen, go ahead.
Hey, ladies, my question is for Courtney. So,
yeah, we just successful on
be a big key going into with video.
This is Rafi with Nothing But That Sports. So I got a question for Courtney Williams. Chelsea Gray was literally unguardable tonight. She managed to hit a lot of fadeaway shots and even had an inside pass on the low post. Like, what are your thoughts?
I got no thoughts on that, man. We gonna rock out. we got a game 3. We gonna get to it.
And question for John Quell Jones. What is the mindset going into game 3? Is it pretty much the same answer Courtney Williams said, or?
Yeah, I mean, we have another opportunity. That's why it's a series. And like I said before, we're going home, we're going in front of our fans, and we're going to use that to help us win the game.
Appreciate the insight. Good luck.
Additional questions from the room?
Just saying, body language says a lot. I mean, the question he asked about Chelsea Gray, that was a little off kilter, but I understood what he was trying to say. I wasn't that afraid to like that. History shows that it's over for Connecticut. Game 1 completely was on their terms, and I really, really hope that this was game 2 was an opportunity for you to win one, and at least just get one, just steal one on the road. I mean, the offense broke free. Las Vegas and Connecticut just had no answers for it, offensively and now even defensively. I think since 2005, that's when we started moving to the best of 5. Teams that had taken a 2-0 lead go on their currently the record is 15-0, and no teams ever come back from a 2-0 deficit. Even though Connecticut is 3-0 in elimination games, they did come back from in the fourth quarter against Chicago. I'm coming to you, Brenden. What does game 3 look like for you?
I hope something that disappointed me about that clip, like the body language, like you said. I think it was inconsistent from all three players, and I feel like when John Quell was asked a question, she didn't act like they were down 2-0. Their season was on the line. If they lose, someone's going to win a championship, and it's not going to be them. So that really concerns me. Again, going back to this is your 2021 MVP, and and again, going back to that feeling again of, I feel like they're just happy to be here. Like that can't be the standard for your team and for your organization. Like, you need to aim higher. I don't care how your past has been. You need to aim higher. You need to have the highest goal possible to win a championship. And so those were my thoughts on that. For game 3, I think Connecticut is going to focus on what they did right in this series. And it's actually they lost by 3 after 1 game. And a lot of people are going off of game 2 because it was the most recent game. And Connecticut didn't look good in that game. And Vegas looked great. So that's why we're all standing here with saying this is over and Vegas is gonna sweep and all that stuff. But Connecticut didn't get a home game. Now they have a home game. Now they have a chance to win in front of their home fans. Courtney Williams nailed it right on the money. I hope they show out at home, because this would be a very disappointing way to end your season. And I just hope for whoever goes to that game and roots for Connecticut, they don't play like they did on Tuesday in game 2. So I think this is obviously a must win for Connecticut, but a must show out.
I really would like to see some line adjustment. I would honestly, truthfully, I would insert Odyssey Sims into the starting lineup. I think you should have Courtney out there alongside Odyssey. I would have, honestly, DeWanna Bonner come off the bench. And you should have John Quell Jones and Brianna Jones starting. I think Alyssa Thomas needs to be defensively on Chelsea Gray. I'd like to see more zone. I'd like to see more post up, get off the 3 line. We said in the preview, whoever imposes their will. I mean, I'm just looking at this box score again. I don't think you're going to have in your starting lineup a donut. Your guard, I mean, you're literally, your guards were not productive. I don't see that in game 3. And I'm not going to count Nia Clouded and Joyner Holmes. There's no disrespect to them, but those minutes were garbage time. And I mean, you knew he threw the white flag up when he put him in there. That's why I know the game was over. But I mean, they've been in a situation before with Chicago. DeWanna Bonner, she called that players only meeting after game 3, and they know what they got to do. But I'm going in the game 3 for Connecticut with low confidence. To see the type of performance they had game 2, I'm just disappointed. I have no words. I mean, I think they'll get it together. But you got to give me your starting lineup. You got to give me more. Like, my star should not be 1 of 9, 0 for 3, and have 2 more points than me. That can't happen. I mean,
no, I agree with you. I think DeWanna Bonner should come off the bench for this game, like a lineup adjustment. I agree, and one of the reasons is actually from Chicago last year and New York this year. So I've been a big harp on Stephanie Dolson. Last season for Chicago, Stephanie Dolson came off the bench. She was, I believe she won 6th Woman of the Year. I might be wrong, but she was lethal coming off the bench. She was ridiculous. Then she gets a big contract in New York because of that performance, and she starts doing poorly. And I pegged it as the reason, and New York started doing poorly as a result. But I started pegging the reason they were doing terrible and Stephanie Dolson being terrible because she wasn't coming off the bench. And Stephanie Dolson is purely, in my opinion, a player who needs to come off the bench her whole career. She needs to be the first woman off the bench, no matter where she plays, and that's how she's going to excel. Put a young player in the starting lineup. That's why I was saying start Hanju and bring Dolson off the bench because that's how Dolson's going to excel at her best, and that's going to help New York the most. I feel the same way. That's why I agree with putting DeWanna Bonner on the bench, bringing her off as the first woman off the bench after the starting 5, because she's averaging 1 to 2 points in this series, and it's disappointing that that she is performing this badly. She's this talented of a caliber player, and so she needs to be brought up the bench. I agree with that point as well. And I also I think Jonquel Jones needs to step up. This is your MVP. I've said it multiple times. This is your MVP that you have, and she's already established in the league. So she needs to come out, and she needs to have a physical presence in the post, because if she doesn't, they have nothing left. They have nobody left to take away from Asia Wilson, from Kia Stokes, from the rest of the guards that you already have to worry about. So that's another thing that I think, or those are a couple of things that I think Connecticut needs to fix. But I do agree with you with Bonner coming off the bench.
As I'm looking at this box score, I mean, Jonquel gave you 16, Courtney gave you 18, Alyssa gave you 13. I mean, you got decent productivity from your bench. I mean, from your starting 5, excuse me, as you can see. This is. I mean, if she gives me 15, 16 out 20 points, we're okay. I need more from the guards. I need more from DeWanna Bonner. I need more from Odyssey Sims. If you're going to put Dejanay Carrington in there, I think she'll have a better game the way she had. I honestly, truthfully, I really do hope that there is some type of adjustments. You can't you can't overthink it. You know it's a must-win game. If you lose, it's a wrap. But painfully, I mean, I don't know. When I watched the game, Brenden, and I'll be honest, I from the fan side of me, like it just like it's like watching it was like watching the Mystics in Game 2 against Seattle. That stretch, that's what it felt. It just felt, it was very demoralizing, because to just watch a team do all the right things strength wise in Game 1. And then to watch Game 2 completely look a complete shell of themselves.
I'm going to reiterate my comments right here, right now. The clock is officially ticking. The honeymoon is over. Damn your feelings. Who gives a damn? You got a job to do. And the job ain't even a championship. It's to be respectable. And you can't even do that?
Give me your prediction.
Yeah, I agree with that statement by Stephen A. Smith, because if Vegas wins this game, they sweep the series. But I think this goes down as one of the most disappointing finals in recent history in terms of competitiveness, and it's just I've been preaching all season. Vegas is not that good of a team, especially when they played Seattle. Every single game that we played against them, I had somewhat of confidence that we can beat this team. And Connecticut should have had it after game 1, but they showed that they didn't. And so this will be the most disappointing finals in terms of competitiveness if Connecticut were not to force it to 4 games, at least. So I am going to pick. I agree with you. I think Connecticut will make adjustments. I just have that small feeling that Kurt Miller's the dog in the burning building, saying it's fine, we're fine, we're good, we're fine, we're okay. But I feel like adjustments will be coming. If I'm wrong, I will not be shocked at all. I'm going to pick Connecticut to get the home win and force it to game 4.
What's your final score?
86 Connecticut to 81 Vegas.
Guaranteed.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go with very low expectations after the performance. You're at home. It's an elimination game. It's must win. Like you pretty much nailed it right on the head. They just got to play better. That's it. Just play better. I mean, like Aaron Boone. It's right in front of us. Like, the Connecticut Sun will beat the Las Vegas Aces 83-74.
Guaranteed.
Also, too, I would like to take this opportunity. I found them, ladies and gentlemen. Check your local store, CVS, Walgreens, Kroger, Target. Shout out to Asia Wilson. I found them.
If they have those at our stores in Pullman, I might flip.
Yeah. So, yeah, I that's how I look at Game 3. It is tomorrow. I feel like the energy will be there. I think Connecticut knows what they need to do. I feel like they look back at the tape. I know. I've seen them do it against Chicago, and I feel like they can do it against Las Vegas. And I just hope that this is just not one of those. Okay, we're just completely just worn out, and we're done. So that's going to conclude the episode. Big Nate Sports Talk. Brenden, I appreciate you joining me. Whatever happens tomorrow, we're gonna still recap the game. If it goes to a game 4, we'll do the same thing. But whatever happens, ladies and gentlemen, you're still going to get great analysis of the finals. I just really hope for a better game 2 than for Connecticut. Ladies and gentlemen, be tuned in for future episodes. You should have already seen the Maryland SMU preview along with the Washington Mystics. You already have seen those episodes by now. This is episode 24, season 10 of Big Nate Sports Talk podcast. I forgot to mention that in the intro. I do apologize. So be tuned in for those. Brenden, closing message, buddy. What you got for me?
Yeah, couple of shout outs. Big one for Natasha Cloud. She's a natural born commentator, and that was super cool to watch. Super cool to get her to get a player's point of view of an analyst of the game. I think players should, or former players, current or former, should be featured in the leagues, whether it's NBA or WNBA, as coaches, analysts, whatever. And I think their point of view is very unique and very interesting. Also, speaking of coaches, huge shout out to Greg Popovich. That was super cool to see someone you've mentored for so long do as good of a job as she is doing. It's super cool, and it's also really cool, fingers crossed, to see a future NBA coach that you'll get to coach against someday, about to win a championship. So that was really cool. Before the recording, I watched the Locker Room Talk by Greg Popovich, and he had that feeling of I did something right. I accomplished. This is my biggest accomplishment. And he's won many championships, but it just was that feeling of I did it. And that was super cool to watch. So big shout outs to Natasha Cloud and Greg Popovich for that game too, and Cloud for the future games that you'll be commentating on.
I also want to add on to the fact they're glad to see some NBA players there. Kyle Lowry was there, John Morant, Darren Waller for the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm glad to see the Mohegan Bay was sold out game 1. This notion nobody watches the WNBA. Y'all got to give a different excuse, because that is total
Bullshit.
I'm just really proud to see the steps, to see those narratives be broken down, and more importantly, like, we've gotten great basketball. To see those guys in the watching Greg Popovich, like you stated, like that means something. Like, to have him in the locker room, I still didn't really understand, but I understood at first, like, why are there bricks in the middle of the floor? I'm not sure if you peeped that, but whatever happens, it has just been really great support. I'm loving the fact that whether it's on the Twitter Spaces, whether it's shout out to Monica McNutt and Carolyn Peck, Audrey Carter, whether it's them making the impact on that network, ESPN, we are all playing a part to really, really grow the game, and I'm glad that we are a part of that. So,
last thing I'll say is you forgot a name, and she has the most important quote. As the great Ari Chambers has said all season long, and she preaches, the WNBA is so important.
I agree with that. Yep, it's definitely important. Hey, congratulations on getting a follow by R.A. Chambers. Congratulations.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude the episode. Please like, comment, subscribe. Brenden, appreciate you joining me. I left his Twitter in the description. And we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Have a good night. We will have a good Thursday. And enjoy the rest of your week. But with that being said, out. Peace. Stay up, y'all.
I want you to understand. Don't ask me a damn question. Don't ask me anything. You sound off. I'm going to eat some cheese doodles. That's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to eat some cheese doodles. I don't care. I got a bag of cheese doodles right here in my hand. Y'all go ahead and y'all sound off. If y'all hear me crunching in the background, this is what I do when I'm stressed. Some people squeeze a ball. Some people go, and they kickboxing or they work out and all this other stuff. I eat cheese doodles. That's what I do when I'm stressed. I'm going to eat my cheese doodles. You guys go ahead and you sound off. I've got absolutely nothing else to say about this. This basketball abomination. I'm just that disgusted.
But I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, when a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them out. Thanks for the kind words. But listen, I'm going to criticize guys if they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. If you enjoyed that episode and you want to see more content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bring your sports game on Big Nate Sports Talk.